Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back again to the Whiteboard series that we have started on my YouTube channel. This is the Nakshatra Gurukul. Nakshatra Gurukul is a refreshing, thought-provoking series of interviews that I do with researchers, scholars, and students of Nakshatras, who I invite them to come and present their original findings and teach us new ways of understanding and mastering the divine secrets of these lunar mansions. So, our guest today is Dr. Kanholy Santhip Krishnan. There are many of you who have written to me saying that, I should get him back on my channel because, his way of teaching is very, very unique. He takes a framework-based approach to nakshatras, which I thoroughly love, enjoy, understanding nakshatras deeper through his insights. They're quite profound. And he discusses concepts based on rituals, symbols, and mythological stories. So this is why I said, let me bring him back again. And today he's going to teach us on Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra. So welcome, Dr. Kanholy Santhip Krishnan.
Yeah, hello, Dr. Pai. It's always an honor to be in your channel. You're my astrology teacher, so it's always an honor to be in my teacher's channel. So thank you once again for me back.
Santhip, I think I am learning more from you now. So, I feel honored to have you on my channel all the time because your insights and your research work is very, very profound. And I've seen that over a period of time, you have actually gained a lot of momentum in understanding nakshatras. So that is great to have you always on my channel. So tell us what you're going to teach us and on Uttara Phalguni today.
Right. Yeah, Dr. Pai, I'll just begin off by sharing that what I actually shared early on was how anyone can be doing research on nakshatras. So the focus of all my presentation are really the ways of thinking or the ways of approach you could take, the strategies you could use to learn more about nakshatras. So I'm going to share based upon my framework, new ways of approaching nakshatras. And it's literally, I'm going to share what I do, literally, like what I do to get more clues about nakshatras. And then on with more meditation, things like that, you get more insights and things like that. So,
but this is going to be a fantastic lesson, Santhip, because you're going to teach us how you do research. So I think for many of the viewers, this will be the key, how to research on nakshatras. So yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, I'll share my screen. Let's see. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, now okay.
Okay, great. So I wanted to talk today about the Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra. The previous video which I made was that of Purva Phalguni Nakshatra. And Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra is a special Nakshatra, Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra and Purva Phalguni Nakshatra, because this is the first paired Nakshatra coming in the zodiac. This is a very interesting concept to think about two Nakshatra pair. And there are two other pairs in the zodiac, almost, I think you could say three other pairs. But phonetically, there are two other pairs which has Purva and Uttara name in it. And Purva Phalguni and Uttara Phalguni is the first pair nakshatra that appears within the zodiac. And the animals which are shown here is you have a peacock on the left and then male cow or the bull on the right. And these are the animals that are associated with the Uttara Phalguni nakshatra. And I call this title as the fruits of life, because Uttara Phalguni literally has the meaning of the later fruit qualities. So like Phal in the name means fruits, and then Uttara means later, and we'll be looking into it in much more depth through the presentation, the name specifically. And this is like the Uttara Phalguni is literally showing you to a lot of key to your entire life aspirations. And this one, and see, you can think of this nakshatra as a pair that is bringing completion to the previous nakshatra of Purva Phalguni. So you'll find a lot of themes of Purva Phalguni coming back in Uttara Phalguni again. However, Uttara Phalguni has its own special placement, which is something which will become very apparent over the presentation. So yeah, this is a blank screen again. I can't emphasize this enough. You need to have an open, empty mind to really absorb the wisdom all this nakshatra devatas are trying to communicate to you. You need to have a blank mind, and that's why your mind literally needs to be like the sky, so that the nakshatras within you can light up. And I'm showing the same work which I showed in all my previous presentations. How the nakshatra energy expresses itself through its deity, through its mythology, through the symbols, and how deities and mythology can interact together in festivals and rituals. Deities and symbols can interact and express itself through themes and patterns. Now, symbols and mythology express itself through space-time events. And all of this can be analyzed using nakshatra awareness and other astrological principles. So this is the fundamental work. And I just want everyone to be mindful of the color triangles and the placement of it. So top left corner, you have the deity, which is the green triangle. And the top right corner, you have the blue triangle of mythology. And the purple triangle is that of symbols. So I'm using this placement of triangle as a key. And I'll be showing this placement throughout the slides, just so that you can have an understanding of where I'm talking from, where I'm to also. So now with this framework in mind, let's move forward. So in case people don't know which nakshatra or where Uttara Phalguni is placed, in the southern South Indian chart, you can see Uttara Phalguni is falling between the Leo and Virgo border. So you have a lot of 5th house themes and 6th house themes coming. That's first thing. And then interesting thing is that the Uttara Phalguni Pada 1 is falling in Leo, and the ruler of Phalguni is again Sun. So Leo is ruled by Sun again. So you have Sun in it. It's like a lot of heat. Sun is the source of heat in Earth. A lot of fire. Suns are kingly. Sun is denoter of kings. So like a lot of fire in kings. Kings love to do action. A lot of will. It's like the will of kings that are will of leaders that literally drive the nation, drive the entire groups. So it's showing a lot of leadership potential early on. And interesting thing is that it's falling in Virgo part. So Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and it's also having this practical aspect to it. How it's more about getting things done. And these are the natives who will be familiar with the getting things done philosophy or GTD philosophy. These are the natives who are productivity enthusiasts. These are the natives who literally keep journals of their everyday entries and stuff, because Mercury is a writing planet, and there's a lot of writing that can happen in Virgo as well. These people also deal with a lot of documents early on. Mercury is again documents. These may be the natives who keep records of their phone bills, name all the utility bills, all the documents and stuff. So that's like the bringing in the qualities of Sun and Mercury again here in Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra. So in the Navamsha, the Uttara Phalguni Padas will fall in Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. This is a very interesting placement because there is a school of thought in astrology which is considering that you can compress all the 12, 11, and 10 houses down into the 9th house of Sagittarius. So it is as if that you can completely first no need to make use of the house numbers like 10, 11, 12, and be done with just the house number of 9. And house number 9 can supposedly show you everything about 10, 11, 12. And logically, it would make sense because 9th foundation for 10th house. And house is again leading to 11th house. And 11th house will finally decide decide how your 12th house would appear. So, but if you know the foundation very thoroughly, it's as if then you don't need the 10 houses. So that is one thing with Uttara Phalguni. And the first pada, Uttara Phalguni, is falling in Sagittarius. So that's showing how a very, there is a lot of mystery here within the foundations of Uttara Phalguni here. That is the first thing. Now let's move on. And you can see how I've shown the top left triangle of deities. I'm using this as a code here. The deity of Uttara Phalguni is Aryaman. And Aryaman is the god of leadership, contracts, and inheritances. He's also known as the chief amongst ancestors. So these are the people who love to be the chiefs in the group, especially as they get elderly. They would love to be community leaders, people who make decisions, things of that nature. He's also the god of age, kindness, and favors. So these are the natural natives who would be involved in contracts, a lot of negotiations, a lot of paperwork in their life. And may also be patrons. They may be great patrons of arts. They may be the people who sponsor, sports teams, sponsor bodybuilders, sponsor, sponsor artists. Like there used to be a time when artists need to have patronage to survive. But these would be the naturally inclined natives to patronage or sponsorship to these artists and other groups. So there's like a lot of talking, negotiation, a lot of assisting themes here. And interestingly, Aryaman is also can be analyzed using the word and literally meaning by investigating the meaning of the word Aryaman. What I do is I go into the spoken Sanskrit dictionary, and if you put in Aryaman, you can see that word translates to playfellow, companion, bosom friend, having a chum or a companion again, who ask a woman in marriage for another. So these are like the best friends who help you out in your romance situations, who help you out in your in talking to your wives. These are the best friends who help you out in literally who are your playfellows, your best buddies you can have. And again, there's like this strong idea of bond. These are the friends who literally connect with your heart. So these natives naturally have that gift of connecting at the deep level of at the heart level, and a lot of companionship energy. And the females and the males would be perfect partners to their husband or wife, respectively. So like, or even within their relationship, they would have this naturality to support their partner because they have the best friend energy within them. So they have that tendency to be the best person, the loudest voice in the stance, in the support for their partner. That's one way to say for Aryaman. And as I mentioned in the Purva Phalguni presentation, both Aryaman and Bhaga were used interchangeably. So in place of Aryaman, Bhaga was invoked. Same thing in place of Bhaga, Aryaman was also invoked. And Bhaga is a deity associated with Purva Phalguni, and Bhaga is the god of delight or enjoyment and marital bliss. So there's like a lot of marriage energy in this Aryaman and Bhaga nakshatras. So this is giving an interesting perspective with respect to Aryaman and Bhaga, and especially Uttara Phalguni more, because marriage in mystical terms is like pointing to the greater connection with the divine. So there is a strong potential for union, as was seen in Bhaga, even in Uttara Phalguni nakshatra as well. So now, the part from here on out, I'm going to literally show you how to do research on so the what I've done here is that I put in I go into the spoken Sanskrit dictionary and put in Aryaman, and I looked at what the meanings you could get, and then I tried to connect it with the nakshatra themes, like with the deity energy, and so I can do it with each and individual word within the deities, all the words that are connected, Sanskrit words that are connected with Uttara Phalguni. So like I said, the spoken Sanskrit dictionary, I put here, and these are the different meanings you get, and of which certain keywords pop out with respect to Uttara Phalguni. You can see good morning, sir, Sudhina Maria. So like sir connotation. So this is like a respected person, polite, honorable. These people have a lot of honor, noble, favorable. So like as you go through keywords, you can keep jotting down keywords on the left to your list of keywords. And again, look, respectable. These people get a lot of respect, and sun is again about worthy, devoted. Again, the partner energy, who is the devoted partner, and wise. These are the elders who are really wise. And so this is the first set of keywords, but you can see there is more, more pages to be explored. And then in the next, you get new sets of keywords, just gentleman-like, and dear, someone who is dear, dearest friend. The wife of a Vaishya. A Vaishya is the merchant class or merchant caste in the day and age when Sanskrit was learned. So wife of a Vaishya is again showing the theme of partner energy, of partnership that is showing up. And name of Parvati. Parvati is the wife of Shiva. So again, it is interesting how Arya is drawing Parvati. So it's like a strong female figure. It can also be Arya. And Arya also means Vaishya again, friend again, mother, honor. So these natives may have a lot of ownership thing. They may own a lot of things. They may also be highly, they may be literally lords. So again, these are like nakshatra keywords that pop up when you look into the meaning of the word. Furthermore, continuing on, you get a couple more keywords. I wanted to highlight Buddha here because Arya is actually showing enlightenment potential within this nakshatra, because it is ruled by sun. Sun is the significator of soul. So a lot of sun energy in it, or a lot of potential for the native to literally become enlightened, or to become light and to be filled with light, just like the sun. And Buddha was the most enlightened, one of the enlightened masters that appeared on earth. And second thing is that of son of Manusavarna, and Manusavarna belonged to a prominent family. So these natives may literally be famous for their family names. That is one thing you could say. And there's like a lot of family teams already in Uttara because of the involvement with community. And you go within the community using a family name, or you may tend to be known through your family name. There are many powerful people who can just say their family name and they still get a lot of work done in small communities, even in larger communities as well. So this is the list of keywords you could actually, just from the word Arya and looking into the Sanskrit meaning. And then the next word you could look into is the Uttara, because Uttara Phalguni has the word Uttara in it. If you look into Uttara, you get some more keywords. You see a reply. So you see the Mercury nature of discussion, talks, conversation. So there is a reply. These are the natives who can have a tendency to be argumentative because they want to give a reply. They want to give the last word. And Uttara Bharati is showing the keyword of, and Mercury is again associated with North. Concluding, like people want to give the last word. These are the elders who give the last word. Superior, and superior because you have a sun keyword associated with superior. Su and sun of sun is both superior. These natives may think, they may tend to have a superiority complex, you could say. They may think of themselves as Superman or Superwoman, They may think of themselves as becoming more than themselves, because sun is more than himself, and he's king, always more than himself. So that's a tendency these natives need to be mindful of. And again, dominant like the king. Now this Uttara coming through as the word left is very interesting. In Vedic religion, or even during Vedic ceremonies of marriage, the husband sits on the right and the wife sits on the left. So it's like your best partner is sitting on your left. So this idea of left is very interesting with Uttara Phalguni. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Dr. Pai, and I think Uttara Phalguni also is left hand, or is it right hand? It is right hand, right?
It is right hand. It is right hand.
Okay, right. Okay, yeah. Well, but
Purva is
interesting
left
how
hand.
you can see. Yeah, right. Okay. So yeah, it's that's one interesting thing, because the body part that is associated with Uttara Phalguni is that of right hand, but then Purva Phalguni is associated with left hand. But Uttara literally means left, so some mystery there. And then Uttara again also means future. So these are the elders who are mindful of the future of the community. Again, going on, you get more again later. Chief, as I described, preeminent, as I said a lot, better, over, upper, after. These are again over, the last word. Again, upper, these are, you're going high up in the sky, just like the sun. After, the first later, things of that. So, okay, now we are looked at. Now the next natural tendency would be to look at Uttara until you can finish it up again. See, Uttara is again delivering speech, like delivering, the person who's delivering, the mailman who delivers, the messenger, Mercury who delivers. Defense, again, the elderly protection, elder who protects the community. Difference is an important thing, because Uttara Phalguni natives meant to compare themselves a lot. They may tend to compare the differences a lot. What's different from that? So there's like this natural critical aspect that can come. And these natives had to be careful of putting their energy too much into the differences. So that is one thing, like this aspect is this different, but the real difference is that thing. So there's a lot of difference energy in it, and that's one of the entry points into Virgo sign. And Virgo is literally the sign of critical thinking, critical evaluation, a lot of criticism as well. These natives may be natural critiques, have that natural critical flavor to their life and to their approach in life. Again, competency is showing how competent they can be. And sun is all about me, let me compete, And you're also entering into the natural sixth house of the zodiac with Virgo, which is the natural sign of competition of enemies. So you're competing with your enemies. So that kind of competition teams can come through here. So now, yeah.
Sandeep, I just was wondering, this is very important. Can you tell me what is the direction associated with, is it west for Uttara Phalguni?
Uttara Phalguni is east.
East, is it? Okay.
Right.
Because what is very interesting to note, and this could be just an observation, because when you're talking about Uttara, you mentioned that it is north. Uttara means north. Now, suppose,
you can see that.
Yeah. Suppose I'm facing northern direction, then my right hand is actually showing the east.
Right. Interesting. Right.
So that's what I was trying to think. What could be possibly, because Uttara literally means left. But if I'm facing north, then it is my right hand which is showing me the east direction, which is associated with Uttara Phalguni.
Right. That is very fascinating, Dr. Pai, because it's as if the direction associated with the nakshatra can be obtained using other nakshatra. So like if you're facing your right hand is Uttara Phalguni nakshatra, then the direction associated with Uttara Phalguni is again east. So that is another interesting thing. And also if you look at east direction again, and again becomes south. And south is that direction of Yama. And Yama is again associated with the king of ancestors. This is one thing you taught us. So like king of ancestors. So here you have literally the king energy in them. They are the chief in the community. So again, a lot of them. So that's the directional aspect is definitely a huge research. And this is a very interesting insight that you brought about, because no one really thinks about direction in terms of your parts. So that's something people can explore. Probably like, with your feet again, you get more clues, your head facing, things like that. But this is a very interesting point. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Pai.
Yeah, because I was just wondering when you explained it, I thought, let me put this out there. Let me see if this is something makes sense. I didn't know whether it makes sense or not, but at least Uttara means, that's why I asked you the question. Is it Is it east or west? Anyway,
Right. Right. Yeah.
thanks, Santip.
Okay. All right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So now we looked at Uttara. The next natural word, like again, you can see here, it's Uttara also means result-oriented people, excess. Sun can be too much of himself. It's one thing they need to be careful of getting into excess, a lot of excess. And then natural next word you would love to analyze is Phalguna, or you have the Phalguni, Uttara Phalguni. So what does Phalguna really mean? And Phalguna means reddish. You can see it means reddish, it means red. And it also means Arjuna tree. And I think Dr. Pai, can you tell, isn't Arjuna somewhat therapeutical? Isn't it healing? Isn't it planned, like the bark is used for some healing of heart or something?
That's right, Santip. I've actually done a video on this many months ago on how to use the Arjuna tree and how to see the connection. So that's actually Arjuna tree, is used with Swati Nakshatra. Okay, the tree associated with Swati. But you see, Arjuna is a tree which has been used for many, many years. The bark of the tree is used for heart-related ailments.
Right.
And I had actually connected this theme with Krishna himself, where Krishna is like the heart, and he's the charioteer of Arjuna.
Right.
He takes you in the direction in which, so heart is like the main function. So if you look at Mahabharata, it was all about Sri Krishna. Everything revolved around him. Without him, he being the heart.
Exactly. Right.
So that was the connection I was trying to show. So, which is very interesting.
Right. So it's like a healing plan for the heart. So these natives can literally heal hearts. These natives even need to heal their own hearts. They need to be listening to their own hearts. As one way you could heal hearts. And interestingly, I was reading about this is how when you have a heart approach to life, when you have a heart approach of openness, loving, kindness, compassion, that approach to life, you are actually burning off a lot of your prarabdha karma too, easily. It's like the karma that is coming through, the seed karma that is yet to germinate and bring them through a life. When those can be burned out just through their heart-based life, So literally, it's like the Krishna burning off our karmas in a way. It's like the heart giving you access to deeper enlightenment, definitely. So that's one way you could look at this. And then continuing further with the research part, I looked at.
I would like to just stop. Just interrupt, because I think you mentioned such a beautiful point, and not many people understand the background from where you're saying. It's very important you open up your heart. That's when you show compassion, you show love, you show kindness, and this is all associated with the deity, which is Aryaman. He's a patronage. He's a chief of patronage, kindness, honor, nobility. So all of these are associated with Aryaman, and Aryaman is all about all these qualities are of the heart. When you open up your heart chakra, that is when you definitely burn a lot of your karmas, because doing all of this, supporting patronage is another great thing. Supporting art, supporting is basically, it's going to strengthen your Venus.
Right, exactly.
Supporting people who are into shastras, that is going to strengthen your Jupiter. Reading scriptures, people who are into interpreting music. So giving patronage to them is going to strengthen your Jupiter or Mercury. If giving patronage to people who do astrology, Jyotish Shastra, strengthen your Mercury.
Right. Exactly. Right.
So I think that's a very strong connection. So I just wanted to interrupt because I wanted to make this beautiful point that you said. I wanted to just add to it. So.
Right. It's a very important point, Dr. Pai, in this day and age, because people have a long connection to their own heart. That's the first. Once they begin to enrich that connection to their own heart, to the soul, then it's as if that natural sense of compassion, patronage, all of that comes forward into their own life. And it's as if the kings were listening to on their own heart when they were supporting Jupiter, like Jupiterian figures like priests or artists like Venus, or even Jyotishis like Mercury. Even like authors can be any planets, but then and these kings literally initiators too. So they literally were listening to the heart. Like people may think kings as becoming egoistic, so like they may be high of ego, but literally there's a higher heart energy access which these need to, and which all of us have actually, because we all have a heart. So then we can actually bringing out the heart chakra foundation into our lives is also important, because it's said that some mystics actually claim that heart is where your final enlightenment point is. There's this David Foley writes in his book about like how you get enlightened all the way through crown chakra, but then finally the resting place of all the masters is you come down crown chakra and you settle in the heart. There's this special point within the heart itself. It's supposed to be on the right side of the chest, and your enlightenment point actually, but that's closer to your heart. And it's like when you point to yourself, you're pointing to that point almost all. So that's like your spirit almost. So that's one theme that is there. Yeah, that's like a deep theme. But then literally this is what mystics would do all the time.
It's very interesting that you mentioned about that, because no wonder that point, which is very close to the heart, is called as solar plexus.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Solar is again connected with the sun. Okay, and this Sol is another name for the sun. We call it Sol, but it's called Sol. And very interestingly, I have seen a very strong connection between Hanuman and the heart chakra, because Hanuman actually opens up the heart and shows Sri Ram and Sita and Lakshman. So that actually shows you he is the lord of the heart chakra, which means it is all about devotion. It is about sincerity. It is about loyalty to a higher consciousness, to his God, his master.
Right. Exactly.
Also, you see, Sri Ram is associated with Raghukula. Raghu means the lineage of the solar dynasty.
Right.
And also, very interestingly, Santhip, I was just thinking about this a few days ago. Even the greatest hymn for the sun is called as Aditya Hridayam.
Exactly.
This, it's at the heart, Hridayam. So you are actually singing the hymn for the heart. Secondly, one interesting mythological story, which actually had been running in my mind for such a long time. And then when I came to see the association of the heart with Sri Ram and with Hanuman, then I realized that when Hanuman was a young boy, he took the sun to be an apple or a fruit, and he jumped. Basically, I feel that was his elevation from one chakra to another chakra. He moved to the heart chakra.
Interesting. Right.
Okay, so that is the kind of, and that's why I'm speaking this, because again we are talking about Phalguni. Phal means fruits, and Hanuman thought it was a fruit. And
interesting.
And there was the leap of faith.
Right. Exactly.
So it kind of means that he was elevated. He became, that was his movement towards the heart chakra. From another chakra, he jumped.
Right.
So that is very symbolic.
Right. Definitely, he jumped into the heart chakra, and that's where Hanuman literally became Hanuman.
Exactly.
He literally became Hanuman. Those lot of events, of course, a lot of stories associated with that. But then it's actually pointing to the faith we all must take to like literally to connect sun and to literally become Hanuman ourselves, to become devoted, to become connected with Lord Sri Ram, to become connected with God himself. So that's very interesting. Yeah, Aditya Hridayam is very interesting point. And again, the Phal connection of sun is also very interesting within the context of Hanuman's mythology. That is very, very interesting point.
And even if you listen to the Hanuman Chalisa, the last sentence he says, "Please come and reside in my heart."
Okay, right. Right.
Because Tulsidas says, "Please come and reside in my heart." So,
right, exactly.
We are talking about the sun ruled nakshatra today, which is Uttara Phalguni.
Right.
It is Phalguni,
Right.
which is again fruit. So let us
Right.
all understand that the fruit is about reaching to Hanuman, being so devoted, and to Sri Ram. So that is the essence. That's the esoteric side of this lesson. So I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just got carried away with what you were trying.
Oh no,
Makes a lot of
these are
sense.
like beautiful. These are beautiful points, Dr. Pai. These are like totally beautiful points, and because it's only when you appreciate nakshatras at the deepest level of esotericism, deepest level of understanding, can you really make it practical and useful in your lives too. That's one thing we all forget.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. So thank you for sharing. Feel free to interrupt me anytime. So no anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So now I move forward.
Yeah.
Presentation. So the next word which came into my mind was to really look at. Okay. Yeah. Right. So I looked at this word of palagna, which was just there around. And it sounded phonetically similar to Phalguni. So, palagna literally means mushrooms. So it was like as if something new came up. Okay. So palagna literally means mushrooms. Mushrooms is something. Then I just talked with an Uttara Phalguni natives, do you have any connection with mushrooms in your life? He said, yeah, I love mushrooms. So again, it was, it's a new keyword that's coming up, which is coming through the phonetically similar sounding words. And again, fruits is something which Uttara Phalguni people love to eat. And mushrooms is just another kind of unique fruit. And it's also showing to the herbal nature, the healing nature, or even to the plant-based person, the person who is a lot of agriculture, farming in their lives, growing plants. And this is something that came up within the dictionary I was playing around. I just wanted to encourage people, okay, feel free to play around within the dictionary. It's not like you follow one particular approach all the time. So here you see pluffman. The word sound pluff is similar to phal, somewhat similar to phal. And pluffman is again like, Phalguni, pluffman. Pluffman is someone who's the man who plows the soil. And interestingly, you see the connection with Krishna here, or with the sound of Krish here, because Karshaku means pluffman. Krish means pluffman again. So Krish sound is here. And Krish sound is again connected with farming, with fertility. With Rohini Nakshatra is the nakshatra that is connected with farming. So again, this is some theme I just wanted to highlight here early on, because sometimes you can literally get it's not through the direct fashion. It will just pop up in front of you, and you need to do that, add it to the list. And again, you see this inherent connection with Krishna here with Pluffman, and again, Virgo is the farming sign where you are ants. So that's another thing. And continue on.
Interestingly, Santhip, I kind of feel that Pluffman can also be your Balram, because you see
interesting. Right.
Balram is the plow. He has a plow in his hand. And
right. Interesting.
He's the elder brother of Lord Shri Krishna.
Right. And if you look at it, there's this connection between Revati Nakshatra and Balram, because Revati Balram's wife again. Correct. So and Revati Nakshatra will be 11th from Rohini Nakshatra again.
Yeah.
So elder brother of Krishna, literally. That's very interesting. Yeah. This is that's another aspect to this presentation, which diving deeper into mythology. It's thank you for sharing that, Dr. Pai, because it's very fascinating to think about that. Now you can see these kind of connections using nakshatras very, very clearly. So that's really interesting. So moving forward, so I added Pluffman to the keyword list. if you look at Phalguna again in the Sanskrit dictionary, you will see a lot of association with a lot of specific dates associated with particular gods and stuff, like Govinda, Dwadashi, 12th day in the light half of Phalguna. Then you have Ekadashi, 11th day of the dark half of the month of Phalguna. And month of Phalguna is when the full moon is occurring in Leo. So it's the February-March time. And during this month, you also have like a lot of gods and goddesses. Like Kamadahana is literally the day of the full moon festival in the month of Phalguna. So I think it's associated with burning. Dahana is burning, Kama is desires, so burning of desires. So a lot of purification of desires that can happen, at least, just based on Tithis and Nakshatra alone.
Was it, so, I wonder, Santhip, was it related to the burning of Kamadevata by Shiva?
Yeah, it could be. Potentially it could be. I'm not really sure.
Even I don't know. I'm just wondering, because Kama Dahana means Dahana Shakti is like associated with Kritika. Right. And it's burning. Right. And Shiva uses his third eye, opens his third eye, and he burns Manmata. Manmata is Kamadevata.
Right. That's very interesting because that's very interesting compared, because you have the full moon in Phalguna, and again, it's the love desire of lower level Kama, lower level desire that are burning up, or purifying. And Shiva is also very strong energy here, because Shiva got married to in this nakshatra. So that's again, I think that's very potentially possible. Kamadahana could be there. And interestingly, if you also look at the nakshatra, the house that is opposite to Phalguni nakshatra is Aquarius. Aquarius is again your desires, your 11th house, natural 11th house. So again, Dahana is happening when the sun is transiting through Aquarius, So that is one interesting that can definitely happen. So moving forward, the next logical thing would be, okay, what would be the Phal of Phalguna? Why don't you just look at Phal alone? Right. Okay. So Phal literally means these words in the dictionary. But again, you can get a lot of themes like crown, grant, bestow, burst, ripen, succeed. So again, look at the word grant. These people will be writing a lot of grants. Literally, they may be applying for scholarships. They may be writing for research grants. They may even be giving grants to others. Like they may be patrons to other people, like the artists and all of that, which we talked about earlier. And again, burst, bear fruit is showing the ripe and very fresh nature of these natives. They love to take a fresh approach, because the fruits are best when they are fresh, right? So again, Phal is again bringing those kind of themes. And then again, on with the keyword, you can see other keywords coming up based on the other words that are connected with this palayati, meaning pal sounds similar to phal. It's like it means guard, it means to watch. And the elders of the community are the ones who are watching upon the future generation. They are looking out for dangers, they are protecting the future. And interestingly, the word phal is contained in the word phallus. And that is literally a male sexual organ. It's also showing the high sexual drive these natives will have. And even though the word on the left there's no connection with Phalguni whatsoever, but then the dictionary gives you option to search for wherever phal appears within the entire dictionary. So phallus is again showing the connection with Shiva again. And remember, the animal is again bull here, and the bull is very highly masculine again. So it's again showing to the strong masculine energy as present within this nakshatra. So yeah, it's been a lot of words, but interestingly, we got new concepts. Now I'll be entering into a different way, and I just wanted to show you the symbol again, because so far I've been discussing about the deities. Now I'll be entering into the mythology, and we'll briefly touch upon festivals and rituals and space-time events. So look at this code is, as I'm talking about mythology. That's one thing. Now this is very, mythology is actually very deep, significant and insightful ways of, one of the most insightful ways of studying nakshatra is using mythology. And one of the great greatest mythological epics in Indian history is that of Mahabharata. Within the Mahabharata, the greatest warrior is Arjuna. And Arjuna is the Pandava warrior prince. And Arjuna is Phalguni. Because Arjuna was literally born when moon was transiting through Pura Phalguni and Uttara Phalguni. However, if astrologically, if you are asking where would Arjuna's moon be placed, then that's a different question to ponder upon, and we need to connect his life themes and finally place his moon. So for the time being, I'm placing Arjuna's moon here in Virgo side of Uttara Phalguni. And more analysis we do upon Arjuna's life story, we'll get more clues. So Arjuna was the great warrior prince who had the Gantiva bow. And if you look at 10th house from Uttara Phalguni here, it's the nakshatras falling in 10th house is Ardra and Punarvasu. Ardra is associated with Shiva, who is the great hunter with the bow, who is hunting down Brahma's head. So Arjuna's fame or 10th house was that he was a bow. Again, look at Punarvasu again. The symbol is again that of a bow and arrow. So 10th house from Arjuna's moon is again that of bow and arrow, or he was a great archer. That's his claim to fame again. So, and he was also called Phalgunan. Moving forward, Arjuna marries Draupadi by shooting through the reflection of a fish. So here you see Arjuna is looking at the reflection of a fish, and that's how he passes the arrow. He lets the arrow through the fish. Finally, he gets to Draupadi. That's the competition which he clears up to get Draupadi. And you can see that, you can see that the Pisces of the fish is actually literally falling opposite to Virgo. So it's like if your moon is here, and moon is the significator of mirror, reflectors, moon is reflecting the light of the sun. So moon is reflecting the fish here. And then Arjuna was able to push arrow through fish. And forward Draupadi, who's sitting in the middle. Though the story goes on to say that he had to share Draupadi with his brothers. It can also be interesting thing to think about, because moon is in Virgo, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is again showing the significance of brothers. So again, you can see how his wife Draupadi is in 7th in Pisces, and then how he had to share it with his brothers in Mercury because his moon is in Mercury of Virgo. It's just one. Now moving forward, his biggest end was this. Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Pai.
No, it's very interesting, because when you see this image, can you show that image of him shooting the... Yeah, right. What it reminds me is, on one side you can see the vessel with the water, which could be like
moon, right?
The moon, okay,
right.
And in the 7th house, and this could be your Pisces. And very interestingly, right, this is a symbol of Sagittarius, which comes exactly in between these two signs.
Right.
Looking down and shooting the arrow above is Sagittarius.
Right. That's really interesting.
So, and Sagittarius falls exactly, in between,
right,
in the center, between these two signs. So maybe there could be a deep-rooted symbology of astrology being embedded into this image. That's my sense.
Yeah, definitely. Sure, there's astrology. I'm sure that's very straight up, no doubts about that. But it's really interesting to think about Sagittarius, because Sagittarius would be his 4th house of family, and then Sagittarius has the horse-headed man, like the half horse, the centaur, the half horse, half man, but he still has an arrow. So it's very interesting to think about that. And also, like, if you think about Sagittarius, if Sagittarius is the centaur carrying the bow, opposite to that you have Ardra in the hunter, who is doing that. And again, Punarvasu is again, bow. And so there's like some more deeper mystery there, or there is some connection happening between Ardra, Punarvasu, and Sagittarius itself. So that is one interesting that can come up. Obviously, that needs to be thought about a lot more deeper. in deeper layers for sure. So that's one thing. So yeah, and the next slide I was going to show was that his biggest enemy is his own eldest Karna. So Karna was his greatest competitor. So competitor would be again sixth house. So sixth house from Virgo is Aquarius, and Aquarius is the natural sign of eldest brother. So it's as if his biggest enemy was his own eldest brother. So that is one way you could say. And Karna is supposed to have been told about him being eldest brother of Pandavas. He knew there was no other way to go. That was his way to. There was no other competitor, and he knew he had to play his part or something along those lines in the Mahabharata. And so that's one interesting thing that's coming up when you place your Arjuna's moon in Virgo, Uttara, Phalguni. So his biggest enemy is his own eldest brother, because Aquarius is the natural elder brother sign of 11th house. Now moving forward,
Santhip,
Arjuna.
one more thing which strikes me, I don't know whether you can see some connection. If you see, the father of Arjuna is supposed to be reincarnation of Indra. He was supposed to be an incarnation of Indra, or rather the son of Indra, Arjuna.
Right.
And you see, Jyeshtha falls in the third house.
Right.
And third house is about courage. It is about use of arms. Archery is all about arms.
Yep.
So somewhere I feel he has the blessings of his father also, Indra.
Right. Arjuna actually gets a lot of weapons from Indra. That's one thing. He is supposed to. He did the Kandiva. There's the forest he burns up for Agni.
Khandwa.
The Khandwa, right? The Khandwa forest he burns up for Agni, and Indra supposedly tried to interrupt the process, but then supposedly Indra had to have shown pride in his son's ability to to him, and literally stand up to Indra himself. So he didn't curse Arjuna or anything, but he was filled with pride. So in showing a lot of heart energy of Uttara Phalguni, but then at the same time showing that Arjuna did get a lot of weapons and stuff from Indra. So again, it's second house from second house, third house is second house from second house. So probably he got a lot of weapons from his father again. So that's very interesting. Thought about if you could place Indra directly here, but then the thing about Indra is that he's coming in multiple places, and he's coming as Indragni in Vishaga, and then he's coming in Jyeshtha again. But then this is something, and one thing I was trying to place was that can you do ninth house from Arjuna's moon as Indra? But then you have to remember that Arjuna wasn't born a natural birth. Arjuna,
yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Born through a blessing of Kunti. Kunti had, and Kunti made use of to make a child. So it's as if Arjuna's mother got favors from the god, something along those lines. But so that's why you probably can't see Indra directly in Arjuna's chart. That's one way you could say. One thing you could say that.
But you can definitely see Krishna and Abhimanyu from this chart.
Right. Yeah. The next aspect was Krishna, and Yuki, his best friend of Arjuna, was his guru, Sri Krishna. Arjuna was having to face with his uncles, and remember, Virgo is again natural sign of cousins, natural sign of maternal uncle. When Arjuna was literally depressed at the beginning moments of Bhagavad Gita and beginning moments of Mahabharata war, he was depressed about having to face his uncles and cousins in a war. But then when Arjuna was depressed, Krishna was his best friend, charioteer, who is giving him his guidance of his song of Bhagavad Gita, and literally invigorating Arjuna with the spirit of Krishna, with the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. And after which Arjuna proceeds forward to fight the war. So it's a very interesting thing to think about. But then astrologically, you could see immediately ninth house from moon of Virgo in Uttara Phalguni folds Rohini, and that's where Krishna has his moon. So ninth house from Phalguni is literally Krishna, or his best friend was his guru. Mostly Uttara Phalguni itself is the best man. So his best man energy is activated here, and his guru would be literally Krishna, who would be his best man literally. Again. So that's very, very interesting thing. It's like immediately all the mythologies are coming to life astrologically, and this is clearly showing you how there are a lot of mysteries within the mythologies itself, a lot of astrological mysteries within the mythologies itself, and something we all need to be familiar with into deeper.
And very, very interesting, Santhip. This is fascinating because ninth house is also about upholding of Dharma, and the Bhagavad Gita is what was given to him. That was what he gained from being in the ninth house. Krishna being in the ninth house is what the wisdom that he gained, the utmost wisdom. Now, very interestingly, I also see that his son Abhimanyu, he died in the battle.
Right.
But you see here, the fifth house comes to the 12th. The natural fifth house, Leo, comes to the 12th from his own sign.
Interesting. Right. Yeah. Let's talk about Abhimanyu just a tad moment later. We'll look into that. It will be much clearer because pictures and stuff. With Bhagavad Gita, it's very interesting because one thing I've seen is that the Phalguni natives will have strong influence of Bhagavad Gita in their lives at one point or the other. Some kind of warrior philosophy will be influencing them, and Bhagavad Gita is actually a therapeutical text for Uttara Phalguni natives, almost a typical text. So if they feel depressed like Arjuna, all they need to do is read the Bhagavad Gita. Literally, they will be inspired through Krishna. Now let's go into point of Abhimanyu, which you were saying. So just for the viewers to realize, his son, Arjuna's son Abhimanyu, was slaughtered in Mahabharata war, and that literally enraged Arjuna, and he killed off Abhimanyu's murderer in the war, and that's what if you think Abhimanyu, it's interesting because Abhimanyu, the name sounds similar to Abhijit Nakshatra. So naturally you would place him in the Abhijit Nakshatra zone, and if you look at there, it's like falling fifth from moon in Uttara Phalguni. So you could say that Abhimanyu is really falling in the Abhijit Nakshatra zone. But then the natural question is that of how did Abhimanyu became invincible? So even because Abhijit Nakshatra associated with invincibility. So invincible, he is invincible. Abhimanyu's son is Parikshit, and Abhimanyu was the only person who allowed his to be continued. So in that sense, Abhimanyu was literally the invincible Pandava of the group, not the Pandava, but the child of Pandava. Now let's bring your point, Dr. Pai. Your point about Leo, and why don't you explain it once again for the viewers?
Yeah, no, I was just wondering. See, Uttara Phalguni is ruled by Sun.
Right.
Okay, Sun can also signify literally your son.
Exactly, right.
As a Karaka. And there you see the Sun goes to the 12th house because the Mula Trikona of Sun is Leo, which is falling in the 12th from Uttara Phalguni.
Exactly.
In Virgo. From Virgo, it falls in Uttara Phalguni. Right? So it as though you lose your sun. Sun is also the kingdom. So the Pandavas lost their kingdom also. Initially. Right? So so you can see, and Uttara Phalguni, Uttara Shada is again ruled by Sun. Uttara Shada. And Uttara Shada means later victory. Or latter victory. So they got back their kingdom.
Exactly.
They won the battle, the Mahabharata, and they got back their kingdom.
Right. Definitely. That's very, very fascinating.
And from there you say Uttara Shada. Okay, if you say Abhimanyu, 8th from it is Mula Trikona.
Right.
8th house is again of longevity and loss. But in his death, he was glorified. Abhimanyu is still been talked about. So because it goes to his Mula Trikona house son.
Right. Exactly. Right. Trikona concept is very, very interesting concept, which when applied upon mythological stories, gives you a complete picture and how you could look into it even in your own lives astrologically. Because Mula Trikona, I've seen that these natives with the moon and Virgo, Uttara Phalguni, they tend to have some kind of isolation, distance with respect to father or family. Some kind of themes can be there. Father's finances, their father's finances, but then at the same time, there may be some kind of isolation themes, especially fathers. But then if you highlight the Mula Trikona here, then what you said about Abhimanyu is just beautiful. No word, it's like
And
he
Leo
loses the kingdom.
Yeah, and Leo is the natural fifth house of the zodiac.
Right, exactly. So, right, the 12th house, the natural zodiac is very important. So, like the 12th house from moon is falling upon the natural fifth house. So, there should be some kind of law experienced by this native upon his fifth house, the natural fifth house of children. So, it's literally for Arjuna, it was the loss of Abhimanyu. That's something, and that literally, that is one of the driving. And Arjuna, when Abhimanyu died, Arjuna said that he would commit suicide if he didn't kill the person who didn't kill, if he didn't kill Jayadratha, who was a murderer of Abhimanyu, he would commit suicide. So like again, self-killing, again Trikona being activated again. So
from this also, Santhip, it becomes very interesting to see. If you take, this is the fifth from wherever Virgo is, becomes
right.
the sign of, you said, Abhimanyu. Now, if you also know the story a little bit more, that Abhimanyu's son, where do you see Abhimanyu's son from?
Here, fifth from...
Yeah, he gets the protection from Krishna. Interesting. Because if you remember, there was a thing which goes almost to kill, I think, the son, Parikshit, who is in the womb.
Right.
Womb of...
okay.
Is it Uttara? What was the wife of Abhimanyu?
I don't remember. Yeah, I think Uttara. Probably Uttara, right.
Uttara, is it? Again, it is kind of like saying, Uttara means left.
Right, exactly, right.
Uttara, we discussed about that. But the child, the child in the womb of Abhimanyu's wife was actually given protection by Lord Shri Krishna. So he becomes the protector of the womb of the child.
Right. Definitely, you can see that clearly here because Krishna is really present in 9th house from Arjuna. So it's like his lineage his future. And child's child will definitely have his guru's protection.
Correct.
So of Krishna's protection.
And also see from Draupadi's house, you see Krishna is in the third house.
Right.
Again, when she was, disrobed, it was Shri Krishna who came and gave her the robe.
Right. And Taurus is again ruled by Venus, and Venus is again Karaka for clothes. So Krishna gave Draupadi her clothes. When Draupadi called for Krishna, Like called for Krishna because from Draupadi's sign, it's third house of calling.
Correct.
So when she called for Krishna, Krishna gave her
clothes.
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful. That's really very interesting. And another thing here was Abhimanyu was supposed to have been the son of Soma, the moon god. Moon is resulted in Rohini, but then moon also rules Mrigashira here.
Correct.
Which is in Taurus. So there's like some past life connection with moon, you could say that. And that's supposed to be one of the reasons why Abhimanyu died young. Because moon didn't want to be separate from his son for too long, even in the incarnated plane. So he died young, and when he was 16 years old, he passed away. And if you use the BCP analysis, you can see if you make Abhimanyu died 16 years old. So it's 13, 14, 15, and 16. During his 17 years, he's reuniting again with the moon.
Wow.
So that's one interesting thing you could do. So this is very fascinating, Dr. Pai. Yeah, we could go on days for mythology, astrology. But then, yeah, next point is a very interesting point. It is that of Arjuna being called as the Kapi Dwaja. Kapi Dwaja means flag, and Arjuna is the flag where Hanuman is present. So Kapi is Hanuman, and Dwaja means flag. So Hanuman literally was in Arjuna's flag, and his flag was put on top of his chariot. So, in other words, his fourth house of vehicles. From fourth house, you have the energy, and there is a school of thought clearly which says Hanuman's birth nakshatra is Mula, and Mula is again ruled by Ketu, and Ketu is a karaka for flags.
Flags,
like the flag which is conquered, and territory which is conquered. So flags, Ketu, the past which is your conquered, and clearly you can see that from here. So from fourth house you have fourth house of chariot, you have the flag energy present, or the Hanuman's energy present here.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So yeah, that's very interesting. And then you go forward. So Arjuna obtained the Pashupadastra from Shiva. So interesting thing is that when Arjuna obtained the big Pashupadastra, the very important, the most important weapon, the most powerful weapon of them all, Pashupadastra, he had to fight with Shiva as a hunter. So Shiva is Rishira, Ardra, these houses were activated probably Rishira, 9th, 10th. But then when he got the weapon, Shiva told Arjuna, "O son of Pritha, weapon should not be hurled without adequate course. Should not be, for if hurled at any foe of little might, it may destroy the whole universe. In the three worlds, all they are mobile, immobile creatures. There is none who is incapable of being slain by this weapon, or this weapon can kill anyone. And it may be hurled by the mind, by the eye, by words, and by the bow." So there is a deeper meaning here. I just underline these words: the eye, words, and bow, and also it should be the mind. That's one small mistake. Hello, Mercury retrograde. But then, it's like the greatest weapon is in your mind, in your eyes, in your words, and the bow, or your actions, or your hands. So like these areas within you is the greatest weapon, or the Pashupadastra is possible. So be mindful of where you are applying your mind, wherever you are looking at, wherever your eyes are capturing it, wherever your words are speaking to, wherever your actions are being diverted. So it's like through these maybe hurled through these avenues. So these four channels can be literally expression of weapon energy. That's one thing that I wanted to add. Second thing what I wanted to add was that remember, this weapon wasn't used by Arjuna at all in the war, and he's supposed to in the Pashupadastra, and it's supposed to have increased his confidence so much that he could need to use the Pashupadastra at all. So he got the Pashupadastra, he didn't have to use it, but then he didn't use the Pashupadastra at all because it could not be hurled at any foe of little might. So you couldn't hurl it upon humans. And even the gods didn't know about these. Like neither the chief himself or the gods, Yama, king of Yakshas, knoweth it. Gods themselves do not know about this weapon because only Lord Shiva had access to this weapon. And so the power of this weapon, and why Arjuna didn't use it upon a human foe in the battle of Mahabharata. So just keeping these weapon themes in mind, in the greatest weapon that was hurled in the human history was that of Hiroshima atom bomb. So I was just curious, and I looked at the space-time event here of August 6, 1945. Ascendant, as per my the ascendant on that day, at that exact moment, was Phalguni, 29 degrees of Leo. And Jupiter is again on Uttara Phalguni again, 0 degrees of Virgo, and Jupiter is very powerful. So as if when Hiroshima bombing happened, the Pashupadastra was literally unfurled upon the humanity of that time. And again, we all know the devastation that was caused by the atom bomb. So it's literally like the weapon that should not be used for any lower foe. So that's a strong theme that came up, and it's just showing the great power that is uh, present within this Uttara Phalguni energy, Uttara Phalguni natives, and that power is again showing also the connection of Shiva, the great. So that is one theme I wanted to highlight here.
And interestingly,
Yeah.
Sandeep, we also see, if you take Uttara Phalguni, the first pada,
Right.
then right opposite, I think, is it Purva Bhadrapada?
Right, exactly. Purva Bhadrapada and then Uttara Bhadrapada.
Yeah. Purva Bhadrapada, if you see, it is related to Aja Ekapada. Aja Ekapada means one lightning. It was like
Right.
a lightning bolt. Aja Ekapada means
Right, exactly.
is reference to lightning.
Right.
So it was like a lightning which hit, that
Right.
place. So you can always look at the nakshatra which is right opposite and try to see some of the themes that
Right.
we're bringing
Yeah.
out. So the Pashupati Astra can also be because Pura Bhadrapada, again ruled by another Rudra.
Right. Exactly.
So Rudriya
Right.
Nakshatra, Ajayikapada.
Right. Right. The spiritual energy that is present, the energy which is present within the Purva Bhadrapada is very high, as Eve mentioned in your video interview with her very beautifully. And that same energy is again can be accessed by the Uttara Phalguni natives, because that's the nakshatra opposite to Purva Bhadrapadas, the Bhadrapadas.
Yes.
So that's very interesting. Very interesting. So next point, I found out that there is a dance form in southern Kerala. It's called as Mailpili Tukam, or Mailpili literally means peacock, and Tukam Tukam literally means to hang. And in this dance form, which is called as Arjuna Nrittam, or which translates as Arjuna dance, you put down peacock feathers as skirt, and you hang the peacock's feathers skirt, and you commemorate the dance which Arjuna did for the war goddess Bhadrakali before the Mahabharata war to appease Bhadrakali. So it's this dance form which is showing the clear connection with peacock, and it said that this dance form happens in specific meter, or it's called as kavitam. Kavitam again means meter, or kavida literally means poem, and kavitam is like meter of the poem. So it's happening. It's showing the Uttara Bhadrapada, Utni energy of literally metered dance. That's one. So again, you can see this connection with peacock and Uttara Phalguni, and peacock is the animal, the bird for Uttara Phalguni and Arjuna. So that's one interesting thing that came up. Now here again, I'm describing the symbols. As you can see, the purple lowered triangle, and the symbols are the same as Purva Phalguni energy, but the difference is that the legs of the bed that is symbolized by Uttara Phalguni is the back two legs of the bed. So you have platform, back two legs, hammock, fireplace. Those symbols can be connected to Purva Phalguni and Uttara Phalguni. In Purva Phalguni, it was the front two legs of the bed, but Uttara Phalguni is the back two legs of the bed, which is the symbol. And it's showing, the bed itself is showing strong connection to healers. Like these are the people who deal with patients lying on the bed, and it's also showing the sexual nature. Again, remember phallus, again showing the high sexual nature. But then the back two leg is very interesting, because it's as if you're getting out of the bed. You're entering into the bed at the front two legs, but then you're getting out close to the back two legs, close to your legs. So this is showing the native brief break, or like a nap, and then they go out into the world to wake up to the work. So there's like a lot of service energy here in back two legs of the bed, or in Uttara Phalguni. And again, hammock and couch is again, these people may be involved in furniture clearly. But then couch, remember, these people are great patrons. So they would like, sir, people on couch, like come sit on my couch, like even the agents, so people who are representing, people who are dealing with contracts, since you would be talking with their patrons on the couch again, again, there's like a lot of couch energy here. Literally, they may be doing a lot of their work on the couch. They may be talking with people on the couch. things of that. So in the ancient Vedic times, the couch used to be symbol for people who offered patronage, people who assisted patrons as well, or people who assisted kings, like the accountants who would sit on the couch beside the king and write down their records, that kind of thing. So these symbols, it's very, very interesting to see how these symbols clearly assimilated to the Uttara Phalguni energy. And now again, this is a blank white screen. Your mind again needs to be blank, even when you're looking at light, even during daytime. So that's one thing. Or like open eye meditation, not just closed meditation. Open eye meditation is also, that's one thing. And here I'm going into the deeper and the metaphysical aspects. As I briefly mentioned in my Purva Phalguni, as I mentioned in my Purva Phalguni videos again, every nakshatra has its own fundamental pattern of desire, the Shakti, the foundation above, the foundation below, and the result of Shakti, desire, and foundation above and foundation below. So this is like a fundamental expression pattern for every nakshatra. And this is giving you clues about everything that is associated with this nakshatra. You can connect this fundamental pattern with the plants, which Lavanya beautifully done in the interview. You can connect this with animals. You can connect this with anything about the nakshatra. But this is the fundamental imprint. It's like the fundamental pattern that is embedded within the nakshatra, in every nakshatra. So doing the same analysis for Uttara Phalguni nakshatra, you get the desire is to become the lord of the animals. The Shakti is the power of prosperity, wealth, and accumulation through partnerships of marriage. So you're acquiring wealth through partnerships. That's one thing. And then the foundation above is wealth from one's family. The foundation below is wealth obtained from partner or partner's family. So the patron is supporting the person who is receiving, the artist who is creating the wealth, you know. It's a deeper secret actually. There is a reason why many paintings are $50 million priced and stuff. This is because one of the deeper secrets is that these actually carry wealth energy in it. That's one secret which not many people know. It's like the people who need the $50 million paintings are carrying with them the price of the painting, which is $50 million worth of energy within the paintings. And one of the reasons why the families would keep on investing that. It's like the energy of the wealth would come in through the paintings, you know, come in through the paintings into their life. It's like literally buying the idol of a god and allowing the, you know, painting to go. But then with that's the main reason why many are supposedly, you know, supposed to priced very high, because they have that energy, wealth energy in that. That's one thing. But yeah, that's the foundation below, foundation above. And the result of all of this desire, Shakti, and foundation above, foundation below is the accumulation of wealth. Again, the patrons would collect paintings and they would get, the wealth would still be accumulated. This fundamental pattern you can see in Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra. That's one, this fundamental pattern, all of this can be seen in Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra. So, but however, I trust it early on with the Purva Phalguni Nakshatra. On the left side, you have this pattern, energetic pattern of Purva Phalguni, and you have the same pattern for Uttara Phalguni. If you compare the foundation above, wife or female sexual partner for Purva Phalguni, in Uttara Phalguni is wealth obtained from one's family. Foundation below, husband or male sexual partner for Purva Phalguni, wealth obtained from a partner's family. So again, it's a theme of union or marriage that's happening. And then look at the desire to become lord of animals, or to become like the elder for the children and stuff, to have the best share amongst God, to literally be the best. So it's somewhat similar. You have to be the best to become the lord of the animals. So like, you know, and then again, look at Shakti, procreate or union of polar opposites. So you're initially creating the union in Purva Phalguni. And then in China Shakti, you're getting prosperity, the accumulation through partnership or marriage. That's one thing. Now in Purva, create the fetus, you create the child that's created. Now once you have the child, you need to do the accumulation of wealth for the child. So again, that's the natural energy happening. But you can see how Purva Phalguni energies are very much, the fundamental pattern of Purva Phalguni energy is very much similar to Uttara Phalguni energy pattern, with the Uttara Phalguni having a layer of wealth on top of it. even the Purva Phalguni is also hinting at that direction. Phalguni is also showing the a slightly different variation of that same direction.
It's very interesting, Sandeep, that there is a ritual, especially which is followed in India, that whenever a bridegroom is given away, or
Right.
after marriage, usually the in-laws of
Right.
the groom
Right.
gift a cot.
Right. Right.
Okay, so maybe what they're doing by gifting the cot is they're activating this energy.
Right. So you can see it. Look at here. So for Phalgunis, the in-laws would be seventh house of bed, or probably
No. In-laws would be eighth house.
eighth house. Okay, eighth house is Aries here.
Yeah.
Ashwini, Barni, and then they would be gifting the bed.
Yeah.
So bed would be again, definitely children, all of that aspect activated here. So if the in-laws give them, right, wealth also, right. Yeah, that's really interesting. So if you put Leo here, and then in-laws would be,
in-laws
from
in-laws is family of the spouse, which means eighth, eighth house, second from seventh.
Right. So for Purva Phalguni natives, the in-laws would be Pisces.
Yes.
And then if the in-laws are giving bed, they are activating the Purva Phalguni again, the Phalgunis again.
Yes.
And they are getting children as a result of that, because
exactly
related.
Absolutely.
Right. So same thing. Yeah, same thing with here also. If they are gifting the bed, then definitely the in-laws telling them, okay, time to get a child.
Get a child, and because of through sexual union, and also accumulate wealth.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. Interesting.
So
accumulate wealth, because one leading to another, because the bed again showing the clear connection between you have the Purva Phalguni in the front leg of the bed, and then the back leg of the bed is literally accumulation of wealth.
Correct.
Something else happening. That's very, very interesting. Right.
Which means when the creation of fetus, which means when the wife is pregnant and the fetus or children are doing, when you're bearing the children, that's when the accumulation of wealth will also start in Uttara Phalguni, because of the bed. Because this is the front leg of the bed, this is the back leg of the bed.
Right. Yeah, this is very interesting. Because literally children are the wealth of the family. It's literally, you may be poor, rich, but then at the end of the day, it's the children who are the wealth of the family. So that's really, really interesting. Then just to take this comparison a step further, I extracted the flashcard from your Nakshatra awareness videos, and then you can see the all the elements of the further comparison of all the different elements of the nakshatra. So like Bhago, Aryaman, swinging hammock, back legs of the bed. Remember, Venus is the planet for Purva Phalguni and Sun is the planet for Uttara Phalguni. Purus Kama, Moksha. The Ganas are very same. It's both human Ganas. That's very interesting. And then Brahman is the priest for Purva Phalguni. And then Uttara Phalguni is the natural Kshatriya, the warrior, the person who gets things done. Whereas Purva Phalguni have a mystical bent to them with the Brahman association. The element is that of water or fluid. And then with Uttara Phalguni, element becomes fire. So there is a contrasting energy that's happening there. And the contrasting is that the Trimurti is Vishnu, and with Uttara Phalguni is that of Shiva. So again, and the contrast that is happening in Purva Phalguni and from Uttara Phalguni.
It is, Santhip, it's a very interesting thing, because I've never seen these things put together. We get to study a lot, we get to learn a lot when you put these two together. And that's how, this is one of the methods of also doing research, is to place all the nakshatras either side by side, or also place the flashcards of all the sun related nakshatras or all Venus related. Now here, very interesting observation that I have. Okay, now suppose, okay, I am facing north. Okay, I'm
Right.
facing the north direction. That is Purva Phalguni. Look at the symbol there, it's north.
Right. Direction is here. Direction of the
Direction.
nakshatra
Yeah,
north.
yeah, north. So if I'm facing north, okay, what would come to my left? What direction will come to my left?
It will be west.
West. And that is what is the left hand, because I said Purva Phalguni is left hand, right?
Right.
It's
Right.
west.
Right. That's
Now,
right.
west, who is the ruler of west? It's
West is Varuna.
Varuna. Varuna is water. See, it is element is Apa,
Interesting.
water.
Right.
Okay.
Interesting. Right.
Now, if I look at east, then what is to the right? It's south.
East, it's south. Right.
Okay. So south and east is the direction of Agni Sthana, and
Oh, okay.
south is Yama. That is where we burn the bodies. It's the fire of
Interesting.
the dead
Right.
bodies that you burn is in the south direction, which is Yama.
Right.
That is your right hand.
Exactly. Interesting. Right. And it's like when you look at the east and then your hand is
Right
south,
hand.
and south
Yeah.
is on the body, and burn. Agni is the burning, the element. That's really interesting. And again, you're dissolving the body, you're burning the body, destroying the body.
Correct.
Right. It's very interesting. Yeah. And another thing is that, this union of polar opposites. So if you combine left and right hand again, that's like, namaste.
This is actually what it is. This is I've done this video with
Right.
Eve, which I'm going to release pretty soon. Okay. Or when this video goes live, that would have already been released. So what I said is
Exactly, right.
doing this, bringing your left hand and right hand together, okay, is actually activating the merits of the good karmas. It is not that
Right.
you are bowing into them, you're bowing to the higher knowledge in them. You're bowing
Right.
to the higher being in the other person. Everybody has a higher
Right.
being within us. So we're bowing to that.
Right.
And what is this? This is activating the Phalgunis. Phalguni means
Exactly.
activation, the fruits of your good karmas, the merits of your good karmas. That is why you do this. And you keep it
Right.
always at the heart chakra.
Right.
It
Exactly.
is always in
Namaste. Right.
Namaste. It's in front of the heart. So that way,
Right.
bring out the good karmas, burn out. You mentioned this just a while ago.
Right. Right.
Heart is what can burn some of the karmas.
Right.
And let us bring the
Right.
good karmas. So that is what the symbol is. And you're centering those energies. You're trying to bring these two hands together. That's the
Exactly.
That's the key.
Yeah, that's a very big, very big key there, because you are, that's why namaste. That's why you clap hands. That's why you clapping hands is healing. You feel sick, clap your hands. You do the namaste more and more. You do namaste. You'll
Exactly. This is very, very important. I want to tell everybody today, doesn't mean that you are bowing down to anybody. Namaste is about yourself. You are appreciating the higher being in you. You're acknowledging the higher being in front of you.
Right. Yeah.
So
It's very interesting. It's what I think is that with namaste, what I think is that it's literally like in the time when the ancients were living purely on an energetic basis,
Yes.
they knew all the energy, so they would be like do the namaste thing as an extension of the energies.
Exactly.
So it came out as just a namaste thing.
Yeah.
Now the people have forgotten the energetic basis of the namaste.
That's right.
So people think is putting your hands, but it's actually the anything that is causing the namaste first,
Yes.
and then the namaste is correct.
Correct.
So that's one interesting thing. That's very, very interesting. If you connect, it's like nakshatras are super in bringing out these kind of insights. That's also you can't deny that. So that's really interesting.
And sometimes I really wonder, I don't know, this is my wildest imagination. Suppose you have some planets in Uttara Phalguni, Purva Phalguni, you want to activate them, I would say just rub your hands.
Oh my God, yeah.
Are you trying to activate?
That's like yeah, it's like that's why the politicians would like rub their hands. The accountants would rub their hands. The deal makers would rub their hands. Okay, I'm getting a new deal. It's like a body language by default. So that's there already. But then if you want to consciously use it, then just rub your hands or clap.
Yeah,
that's why the bhajans, people who would sing bhajans, they are clapping. That's why you're clapping after every performance, like after every platform performance,
Because
all of the all of,
clapping and also during bhajans or clapping is actually appreciation and actually bringing out the good qualities or good merits in you by doing
right,
this.
right,
And
right.
also acupressure, it is activating 39 points in your fingers, which is
Exactly.
connected to different
Right,
points in your body, different organs in your
right,
body. So it
right,
is it's a universal cure that you can do.
right, right. It's a very important cure.
And what I've noticed, Sandeep, is when you clap your hands, okay,
Right.
there is a sound which comes called fat. It sounds like
Hmm.
fat. Fat is a tantric sound for dispelling evil or dispelling negativity.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's like a font when you clap. It's like a fut.
Fat.
Yeah, yeah.
Fat
Yeah, in mantras and stuff, you say
mantras,
whom fut.
fat.
Yeah,
So fat is
right,
actually the energy to dispel negativity, dispel evil. It
right,
just runs away. And that's why clapping of the hands is actually going to drive away depression. It's going to drive away, And very interestingly, I was speaking with somebody a couple of days ago, and what he mentioned is whenever he has Saturn in Uttara Phalguni, or rather, no, what he said was he had it in Hasta.
right.
Okay, he said after seeing my video on Hasta on stellar mind programming, he says whenever he feels depressed in life, he
Hmm.
just chants the Hanuman Chalisa by clapping his hands, and then within 5-10 minutes, depression is gone,
Right,
because it is Saturn, and Hanuman Chalisa is a great potent hymn for Saturn
yeah,
to reduce the energy of
right,
Saturn. And Hasta, and what he said was he was
right,
clapping his hands because Hasta, so he was
right,
creating that positive vibe. So you can look at planets and you can do some natural things like this.
right. Exactly. Right. Yeah,
Anyways,
totally, Dr. Pai. It's very interesting because the nakshatras themselves are associated with many elements, and each elements are interconnected in one fashion or the other. And one thing is that, one thing I wanted to show here was that look, the north. We discussed the north and east direction. Then another important thing is that look at the birds. The one bird is eagle high up in the sky, and
also the
the
ground.
other bird, other bird is on the ground,
Ground, correct.
actually eating snakes and dealing with poisons and practical. Like, and then look at the sound mo ta t two, and then for sound of Uttara Phalguni ta to pa pi, like Taylor, Tom, Pascal, people.
Mm.
Same thing. But what you'll find is that what I've been finding is that one thing I've been doing when I look at charts is like I look at the native's name. If they have any prominent letters, like their first name begins is like Taylor
Mm.
or Pascal, so then I look at Uttara Phalguni, and then I'll try to see if they have any energies. And almost like every time I've seen some kind of deep connection, like almost like, okay, what is your boyfriend's name? Tom. Okay, Tom, Uttara Phalguni. You have a planet in Uttara Phalguni. Things like that. Very much lot of things like that. I've seen that many times. You can deny that kind of thing when it happens. And another interesting thing is that of the direction of nakshatra. Before that, Phalguni is Ugra or fierce, and Uttara Phalguni is Dhruva or fixed. So it's very fierce energy in Pura Phalguni, and in Uttara Phalguni it tends to get fixed. But then in Pura Phalguni it's downward facing nakshatra. Uttara Phalguni is upward facing nakshatra. So that is again this interesting contrast. You have the Ugra nature and it's fixed. And then Purva Phalguni is downward facing and Uttara Phalguni is upward facing.
And
So,
also Sandeep, you see, Varna is Brahmin priest here, Varna here is Kshatriya. The contrast.
right, exactly. Yeah, the contrast is very huge. Right. And what is very interesting is
water, fire.
water, fire, Brahmin,
Vishnu,
Kshatriya.
yeah.
Right.
Vishnu, Shiva.
Even Venus, Sun. Venus is the enemy of Sun.
Sun, correct.
So I was going through the Facebook group archives, and then I saw Rodika's post on the contrast on the Purva and Uttara Nakshatras. I think she mentioned was that the reason why Purva Nakshatras are downward facing and Sun Nakshatras are upward facing is Venus. Venus is the Guru Shukracharya who literally meditated hanging upside down. And then Sun is again, high up in the sky. So it's like upward facing. But then again, it's bringing out the themes of like Venus is again demonic guru of demons, like your desires. And then you're getting that by connecting it with the soul, connecting it with the heart, So those kind of, that's one theme that was coming up, And then the Ugra of nature becomes balanced with the Dhruva of fixed nature. You become more fixed, you become more consistent. So that's one thing that was there. So that was very interesting. One of the things that was interesting with this contrast, and like you mentioned, it's the same contrast is seen in every Purva and Uttara. So every pair nakshatra uses kind of contrast, like downward facing on for Purvas and upward facing on Uttara, showing there is some fundamental key theme that is there present in these nakshatras, pair nakshatras. And again, so it's as if this is helping out the native in one way. To get access to these.
I sometimes feel, Santhip, this might be the process of how the seeds are sown. Okay,
right.
Seeds are sown inside the ground and then the plant comes up. Okay, so it is very symbolic of saying we have to invest in sowing good thoughts, good things, good seeds and good karmas. Because the result will be Uttara Phalguni, which would be upward facing. So you would get good crop or good result. Or there would be good plant which grows up. So it is all about your karmas, germination of the karmas. What are you germinating? What are the thoughts? What is the seed? And what are the fruits? What are the fruits?
Exactly. What are the seed? What are the fruits? So your heart should be right. Your heart should be set in a right. It should coming from the right place from your heart. And then once that is there, then your seeds are purified. Like your seeds, the soil that is there, nourished by the water, gets fixed upward. You get the fruits clearly up in the sky almost.
And for the growth of the seeds, also water and heat is required. So that is when the is broke.
Right. Yeah, that's very right. Yeah, that's very interesting because Rohini is again. Between water and Agni with Kritika on one side and Soma with water on the other side.
Correct.
And that's why it's very abundant. Similarly, you have that kind of theme happening here in Purva Phalguni, Uttara Phalguni. That's why these natives are very creative and they need to be their own their own boss most of the time. So that's one thing that's seen. So yeah, it's this is very again one final thing is that I think Purva Phalguni, the Ayurveda dosha associated with Pitta, and then with Uttara Phalguni it is Vata. So Vata is high up in the air, and Pitta is more action-oriented again. So it's like capabilities, and Pitta is again can also be connected with liver issues and stuff. So that's one possible theme that can be affected with Phalguni at least. That's one thing. Look at the mantras. The mantra is Om Cham and Om Eem in Uttara Phalguni. And like the fundamental Shakti kind of mantra. And Cham is like very interesting. And Prashtravidi's book says Om Jam is also another sound. But you could see like Cham and Jam is like in the phonetic region. Ja, Cha, that kind of thing. So that's very interesting. Now I'll tell you why I'm telling this Ja later on, why I'm highlighting this part later on. So now moving forward, like we talked about how Uttara Phalguni is very important. Roots and Phalgunis are very clearly connected in the names itself. And interestingly, all the Purva Phalguni and Uttara Phalguni natives would be familiar with all the fruits which I've placed here. Like they'll be familiar with the bananas, pomegranate, purple grapes. They love fruits. They love to eat fruits, and they love to drink fruit juices. They'll be familiar with kiwi. They'll be familiar with prunes. I mentioned mushrooms early on. But then, interesting thing is that most of the fruits are actually sources of antioxidants, and antioxidants supposedly pairs up with free radicals and reducing oxidation, and thereby it extends life. So the antioxidant fruits would help the electron, the free radical, having the extra to be paired up with the electron from itself. So it's like the perfect pair or perfect union that's being formed. And because of that, you are accumulating wealth, you are extending your lifespan. So you can see that energetic imprint happening at the antioxidant molecular level almost, So that's one thing here with antioxidants and fruit. And another interesting thing which came about when I was talking about nakshatras to another participant was that of grafting. That's the insight that came about immediately. And grafting is the approach. One plant has two fruits. So you graft one plant upon the other rootstock. So on the left, you can see image of peaches and nectarines. These are two different fruits, but this is on the same tree. So because why the nectarine has been grafted onto the peaches rootstock. So rootstock is the portion which is the plant that is supporting, and grafting or the scion portion of the plant which is connected at the grafting line. So literally you are, supporting the scion to grow. That's one. And interestingly, if you look at what the scion means, it not only means a young shoot or twig of a plant, especially the one cut for grafting or rooting, it also means a descendant of a notable family. He was a scion of a wealthy family. So again, it's showing the family themes, family lineage that coming into play here. This is almost like how a perfect husband and wife should they should be grafted onto each other. And both of them will be producing their own fruits. One will be producing peaches, other will be producing nectarines. It's like the perfect Uttara Phalguni energy almost, or the Phalguni energies. And it's almost as if like grafting itself is a remedy for Uttara Phalguni. It's almost as if like for the natives to clearly be in terms with their Uttara Phalguni energy, they should just graft. Most probably these natives would be familiar with grafting. They already be doing grafting themselves. But then they should just do this, like activate the energies by doing grafting. That's one thing I would probably suggest. It's like a research area for sure.
I don't know whether we can graft a Juvi tree with a Palash tree. If you see the tree,
actually, yeah. It's
I don't know whether that is possible. If you see the trees behind, it's called a rose laurel for Uttara Phalguni, and Palash, the flame of the forest. It is also called as the parrot tree.
Right, the fig tree. It's also the fig tree. Actually, they do the grafting for fig tree for sure. I've seen that. They do grafting for fig trees by default. So probably, I'm not sure about the Juvi tree though, but then I'm sure, the Virgo with Uttara Phalguni, they are like the natural herbs people. So they may be familiar with that. Someone can comment in the videos or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
So moving forward, like I told, the grafting scion, that's very interesting connection because you're seeing the clear energy of Uttara Phalguni in this, even in the, so these are very clues to an exact of the energies within nakshatras. Now here I'm comparing three different nakshatras. I'm comparing Uttara Phalguni, Ardra, and Revati. Here I'm doing the fundamental pattern of the energetic pattern. I've shown that the foundation above, below, desire, Shakti, results. Now I place them all together. Why I'm highlighting these three nakshatras? Because all three nakshatras have the same desire. Uttara Phalguni has the desire to be animals. Ardra has the desire to gain lordship of animals. Now Revati has the desire again to become lord of the animals. So the lordship of animal theme is clearly present in the nakshatras. And these three nakshatras, Uttara Phalguni, Ardra, and Revati. Ardra is clearly connected with Rudra or Shiva. Revati is connected with Pushan, but he is the Pashupati, lord of animals. He's the person who guides native stuff. So again, with Uttara Phalguni, you can see this clear theme of connection with Shiva, Rudra, and Pushan. So it's as if the Shiva energy is very strong in these three nakshatras. Probably if you do flashcard analysis of nakshatra, we'll get more clues. But then just by looking at the desire of fundamental pattern, you can get this direct connection to Shiva being cleared up. And again, you're seeing remember the Pashupadastra was granted to Arjuna by Shiva again. So a lot of Shiva energy here. So which is why the place is right. Or Kailash is very important. Shiva married Parvati, when Phalguni Nakshatra, when Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra was operating. That's when the contract or marriage cleared up. And then marriage, obviously Shiva took Parvati to Kailash, where he resides. So for these natives, especially Pada 1 now Uttara Phalguni, it falls in Sagittarius. It's connected with mountains. It's actually a natural 9th house of pilgrimages. So these natives, if they do a pilgrimage to Mount Kailash, that's like a remedy I never do. It's like Phalguni natives, if they do something to Mount Kailash, that's like the biggest remedy there, because they are literally, almost at the highest energetic point of the earth where Shiva and Parvati is residing. So that's one suggestion I have. And you can see the Mansarovar lake and lake, Lanka, and it's overseeing the Mount Kailash. So this is one theme that came up when I was doing this. So now let's see. Now actually show a movie up. This Up movie, Up in the animation movie Up, was the movie which was playing on TV when the moon was transiting through Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra. Kind of interesting to see how the themes of romance, mentoring, peacock, pets, all these themes were present in the movie. Like the old man decides to take his house to the Paradise Falls and place his house there to Paradise Falls because he loved his wife a lot and that was his wife's desire, last wish almost. And then he literally had to lift his hair, which is showing the Vata element again. And then a romance element is clearly there, it's very cute couple, very old couple. And then you have a child who is coming up in a strip and he acts like a mentor to the child. And on top of that, the child's pet a dog also shows up. So Kevin is the name of the peacock. A peacock character also shows up in this Paradise Falls region. It's like an animal and exotic pet. Kevin is the name of the peacock. Doug is the dog. Russell is the name of the kid. So like Carl Fredrickson is the name of the old man. And you can see how the natural 6th house, Lord of the Animals, pets. Again, you can see a dog connection here in this Up movie. And then, peacock connection, as I told you, it's shown there. Mentoring is seen here. And the interesting thing is,
and what is interesting, Sandeep, sorry to interrupt, I can't help to notice the movie Up also means it's Urdhmukha. This is Uttara.
Oh, right. Exactly. Yeah, it's going upwards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also UP, up it's like short form of Uttara Phalguni, UP, even that up
exactly.
again,
Very nice.
So it's very, it's very interesting, like how you can see literally the energy of a movie. And this movie was a huge hit, made like $730 million, it's like a huge box office hit. So like a lot of wealth just by activating different themes, So that's one interesting. And these to be really romantic minded. These are the natural romance lovers. They love, romantic comedies, romantic movies, things like that. So again, there's a theme of Uttara Phalguni energy, which can clearly be seen in all these movies. So here another chart I wanted to show was that of Ralph Waldo Emerson. He's like a famous 19th century philosopher and lecturer. This quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson will be very popular, will be familiar with this quote at some point in their life, and showing how when he was as a philosopher. It's showing that he has Jupiter and Uttara, and Jupiter is like it's representative of church, it's representative of religion, it's representative of educational institution. Interestingly, Ralph Waldo Emerson had it was a time when all the philosophy revolved around church and religion and all of. But then he started to preach philosophy or lecture on his philosophy based on individualism. And again, you can see this of individualism here. You make a decision like a king here in this quote. And once he started to preach that kind of philosophy, he became literally the enemy of the church. And Harvard University literally banned him out of the campus for 30 years for having delivered such a lecture against the church of the, that at that time, churches was a fundamental part of the universities, And then, so look at Jupiter is falling in Uttara Phalguni, in his ascendant for sure. And it's falling in natural 6th house. So he literally made an enemy of educational institution, enemy of the church. You can clearly see that. his first wife passed away, but then her family owed him money, so he had to file a lawsuit to get the money, and he literally got $11,000 through the lawsuit. So lawsuit is again Virgo is again law, Jupiter is again law. The gains he got through his partner's family or wealth through partner's family was very huge. So at that time and age, $1,400 was just the annual income. He made $1,000 of that. So it's like abundance of money through partner's family, the Uttara Phalguni native year. And another thing I wanted to show is that just like how Bhagavad Gita is a therapeutical text for Uttara Phalguni natives, Ralph Waldo Emerson's quotes would feel guidance giving, or his works would be guidance giving, because people with planet here would feel this impact of his writing, Jupiter upon their planets. So that's one thing you could say, how to connect with good, how to make astrology even in your motivational life, for lack of a better word. And finally, I have the chart of Will Smith. He's the famous actor, and he has Sun in Uttara Phalguni. Sun is conjunct Ketu. So originally, I wanted to show how you could really do nakshatra research by showing Wikipedia article, and literally you can just highlight of nakshatra, this nakshatra, that nakshatra influence. But here I'll just show the pictures of the movies in which he acted in. You can see nakshatra themes play out. So Sun, he plays the character Deadshot. And Deadshot, remember, Arjuna was the archer. So he was Deadshot in his accuracy for sure. So Will Smith played the blind, not blind, but Deadshot, almost some could say, Phalguni, Pura Phalguni energy, blind illumination, that kind of theme here. But then he was Deadshot, the archer energy. He played a suicide squad. That's the thing. Suicide Sun Ketu is like loss of soul, like, suicide. It's a suicide squad again. Again, remember, it's 400 hours of friends. So again, squad, those kind of themes you can see clearly. That's in that movie character, the suicide squad, Deadshot. Next movie is that of Hitch. So in the movie Hitch, he plays the best man who helps men love. He's like the romance specialist. He's like the person who he gives coaches mentoring to mentoring on romance to people, so that they can get their love. Again, like Uttara Phalguni is mentoring, the elders who are mentoring the children, things like that. He's mentoring his best friend, his mentoring friend. That's one thing. Now in Pursuit of Happiness, which is in the movie, he acted with his son there, like literally again, son can be literally son again, child. Then Pursuit of Happiness, happiness again, these people love to be happy, that's another thing. And then he plays the entrepreneur Chris Gardner, again sun themes. Chris Gardner, who was trying to make it as an investment banker. So Virgo is again natural sign of banking. So he was trying to make it as an investment bank, selling insurance policies, selling investment banking to clients in the movie. That's what he literally did in the movie. That's how he became. And he was trying to sell scanners as well. And scanners, you can see something Rahu. So it's like a lot of scanning energy, or device energy, electrical energy is there. That's one thing. Now in next movie is that of Independence Day. Now Sun is the planet of independence. So literally, and it was Independence Day, not Independence Night. So day is again associated with Sun. So see how that connection was there. And interesting thing is that he plays a fighter pilot. He has Saturn is retrograde, and it's in Ashwini, and it's in 0 degrees. It's a powerful placement. Saturn is retrograde in Ashwini, and Ashwini is associated with the chariot sky. Ashwini Devatas are associated with chariots in the sky, or these are like natural fighter pilots. So Sun is conjunct Ketu, the dispositor of Ashwini, and he was literally the fighter pilot, and he was uploading a virus to the alien mothership. So it's really interesting. Sun is aspecting the virus planet and is uploading it, So you're going it, uploading it again. So that's the theme of up and, Urdu Muga and stuff like that. Now here is, he became a real hit after this movie, after Men in Black. So this is very interesting because, again, look, his name of the character, obviously the movie is dealing with aliens. So like clearly Sun, Rahu connection is there. But then his name of the character is Agent J. So look at the Mandi Uttara Phalguni, Chum or Jum sound. Jum sound is associated with Agent J, who has a planet in, Uttara Phalguni. So it's as if, and he has a mentor, Agent K. So there's a theme of mentoring happening in Uttara Phalguni, clearly. And the thing is that you can see how he's a man in black, So black is again associated with Rahu, and black can also be associated with Saturn. And Saturn dispositor is again, conjunct Uttara Phalguni. So that is Will Smith. And look at Will Smith himself, like Will, it's like against Sun, that's another thing. And he actually became a star, becoming the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That was his TV series. So he was a fresh prince, again, fresh fruit symbology. That's something you can see. Now, this is chart. This is like a homework. I mean, if anyone has seen through all this video and reached this point, they are patient. They're very eager about nakshatras, and they have been very, open-minded and definitely curious about more nakshatra. So it's like a gift for all the viewers of all your viewers, almost a homework for all the viewers. So if they can make use of this chart. And what I've done here is that I placed Uttara Phalguni here. Then I highlighted this Mulatrikon position of Sun, debilitated, and it's debilitated and its exalted position. Mulatrikon, exalted. And then remember Uttara Phalguni is that of Lord is that of Sun. And Sun is, Sun is Nakshatra Lord. So the clue here to get a deeper understanding of Nakshatra is to look at the Nakshatra Lord, Mulatrikon position, exalted position, debilitated position. Connect that with the house placement of the nakshatras. And furthermore, connect the other planets, nakshatra, Mulatrikon position, planets exalted and debilitated position. And you can get more clues as to what fundamental patterns exist within for a particular nakshatras. So that is one clue I'll give straight up to the viewers. And viewers, if you feel like learning, they need to be working out their nakshatra mind. So you can just write down what you learn in the comments, and I'll literally grade them for you. I'll literally tell them, reply, and tell you, okay, like this is correct, good thinking, this is like that. So feel free to about what your insights are upon contemplating upon this chart. And this chart has lot of secrets. It's like you don't need, so like someone says your moon is in Uttara Phalguni, immediately you can say like 3 different things. You can almost say like 9 different things, because if you look at the exalted, debilitated, Mulatrikon position of each planet, you can immediately say different things. So the key is to combine the Nakshatra Lord house position, its Mulatrikon positions, and also look at the Rashi Mulatrikon position, house positions. So that's for the viewers, and they can do it in the comments, below this video. I'll be glad to help them in any ways. That's what. Now, finally, this is one area of research I'm doing. So when I was growing up, Mukesh Khanna starred in a space opera which showed up in Doordarshan as Aryaman. So Aryaman is literally the deity of Uttara Phalguni, so I was looking at placements in Uttara Phalguni, but he doesn't have any placements directly in Uttara Phalguni. We don't know his birth time though. So probably his ascendant could be in Uttara Phalguni. That's one thing. One thing I wanted to show was how the Sun-Mercury combination. Look at the Sun and Mercury. Both are in 4 degrees. It's a very tight conjunction. So Sun and Mercury conjunction can also act as a very tight conjunction, especially. It can potentially act as Uttara Phalguni. And remember, he was famous Bhishma Pitama, like the great elder, and his company is named, Bhishma International. And, he's like, he literally played in a space opera called Aryaman, I mean, so clearly energies are operating. So the one way I'm seeing, this is obviously a research topic. So one way I'm seeing it is operating is Sun-Mercury conjunction. And to remember, Sun-Mercury conjunction is very frequent. But however, I think the reason for him, his Aryaman, to be so strong is because Sun and Mercury is very tight, is tightly conjunct. Almost degree very, very close, 4 degrees to each other. So yeah, that's the last slide, Dr. Pai. Right.
Sandeep, I have to say, ever since Rahu has come into Maga Nakshatra, I think around about the 10th of December, every interview, every discussion that I've been doing with people in my research group, with people I'm interviewing, I just get baffled with the amount of information which is coming out. I cannot believe it. And this is another, just to augment whatever I've been saying and whatever I've been observing, is this is one of the best lessons I have or interviews I've sat through, because for two reasons. One, you have, with an open heart, given out so many research secrets.
Right.
So Rahu is going to bless you, and Rahu is going to be there because Rahu is about illusion and Maya. So you have removed a lot of cobwebs, and I'm glad that you also given them some homework that they can think on, because this is the real essence of nakshatra and going down to the padas.
Right.
And as you said, just by knowing the exaltation, debilitation, Mula Trikona of the nakshatra lords, of those planets which get exalted or debilitated in that nakshatra, can give you great hints. And I think that is part of our research that we have been doing as a team,
Right.
where eventually we will share that knowledge with everybody. But I'm saying, teaching people about how to research and how to master nakshatras, I think this is, and also what I'm a great fan of yours is the framework that you're given. It's a brilliant thing. People do not come up with frameworks, and that framework, I think, is something that I would like to apply on, and I would like my viewers and even personally me also, I would be applying these logical things. Like you talk about deities, you talk about mythology, you talk about space-time events, you talk about rituals, and you talk about themes and patterns. So, and it's so beautiful. It's a very, very great framework, and you have been consistently using this. And again, another brilliant lesson on Uttara Phalguni. So I cannot thank you enough, Sandeep, for coming again and sharing this knowledge. And I know that there is a lot of work and effort which goes into it. I hope the viewers are going to recognize that effort, because it's not easy to put up so many slides. There's a lot of work which goes, a lot of time which goes into it. So I hope that the viewers are going to appreciate the efforts that you have made in bringing this knowledge out. So I think Rahu will definitely be happy with all of this research which is happening, and I see a lot of unique knowledge, special knowledge coming out, and that I have seen in the couple of interviews that I've been doing. Some fresh thoughts, some fresh things. Every video that I'm doing, I'm learning so much, and also I feel our viewers are going to learn a lot. So thank you very much, Sandeep.
Yeah.
I would like to thank you for coming again, and we'll bring you back again. This is not going to be we won't let you go. You'll have to come back over and over again now. So
thank you. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Pai. It's been a work of love. Really, it's been a learning process for me too, because the more I'm communicate, the more my thinking is becoming clearer. It's becoming, the more even I'm getting new insights as well. It's as if like on the sharing process, like yes. I can't understand why astrologers would want to keep things like that as a secret. Like
exactly.
Obviously, there could be some knowledge that is too dangerous. Then that's a different matter. But then, even then, the fundamental things, it's like the more you share, the more in yourself. So, like that's a very interesting thing I've been noticing myself. The more I'm trying to share, the more I'm gaining myself too. And then, I would have to thank you, because you are actually the seed person who planted in the seeds of nakshatra within me, and then how I'm able to see things differently, the seeds of nakshatra awareness, those kind of things. And then definitely I wanted to highlight that one thing was I struggled a lot with nakshatra. I struggled a lot with astrology. I'm literally a newbie in astrology, but it's one thing I found out of this is that every effort I put in, I've gotten some kind of results. So that's one thing I want to encourage your viewers, like any effort you put in, if you don't understand, you make mistakes, that's fine. It's like you are, working forward and you're building up your Jyotish muscle, and over time it will get bigger. And then, so that's one thing I wanted to say. And as always, like, I hope Rahu but then, but more than that, I think, Rahu in Leo has been a really interesting time. Many new videos about Rahu, many new information about Rahu is coming. So a lot of ancient knowledge is really coming out. SMRs related with Leo is definitely coming out. Like ancient scriptures, ancient knowledge is definitely coming out in new fashion. So like all the interviews you have shared is like brilliant. Like there's no, like Lavanya's interview is just plain brilliant. It's like no other words. And so it's like interesting what you mentioned about Rahul. It's definitely happening. It's definitely happening in my life. Definitely, like you can say straight, people who had any property document issues during this past year is like, okay, Rahu and Leo, contracts issues, that. But then it has its own positive sides too, which is clearly showing up in astrology for sure. So definitely, I would have to really thank you again for showing and giving me the opportunity to like develop myself. So that's one thing. So yeah, really thank you, Dr. Pai.
Thank you, Sandeep. I think the opportunity is not given by me. The opportunity is given to you by the universe. Yes, right. The universe which gives all of us the opportunity to come and share. So thank you again, Sandeep, and see you again very soon. Bye-bye.
Sure, Dr. Pai. Thank you.
Bye.